Hello all, welcome back to the channel. I'm Alan, this is Alan Reacts. Alan Reacts. I keep saying it the other way, missing out the L. So this is my little corner of YouTube. This is a reaction analysis review sharing. It's a song I know from 2008 from an artist I deeply admired then, but then there is a story, seemed to go away from the limelight and we didn't know for years. This is Amy Ann Duffy, or Duffy. This is from 2008. This is the premiere single from the album Rockferry, self-titled Rockferry. Let's listen to it.
I moved to Rockferry, to my road, and I built my house, baby, west side.
I always found her voice mesmerizing, and it's soul. I think they tagged it retro soul. This is just pure soul from the 60s. Her voice is pure soul from the 60s. I think was she a reincarnation of a 60s soul singer, of which there are so many great ones. And there is a connection to Rockferry. We'll come to that. The song itself looks to be introspective, looking back. But just when you watch her, I was going to go with the pre-recorded version, but I was just reminded how her diminutive figure and powerful voice. But it was in that period in the 2000s where singers like this, Amy Winehouse, less was more. If that makes sense to you guys, less was more. It was the voice, very little else. Great music, great songwriting, written by her, I think. Here we go. This was off Duffy's first album. This single was released in March of 2008. Was a hit in the UK, massive hit. The album, Rockferry, was a hit both sides of the Atlantic. I think it was certified gold, maybe even more by now, in the States. Worldwide sales of 9 million. This is back in 2016, so I don't know if it's progressed since. She did a second album. I'm not sure what happened to that, whether it was as successful. There was 5 singles from this album, all hits. And I remember at the time, she also, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, didn't she do the Pepsi advert? Didn't she get a really big sort of endorsement in terms of, yes, financial, but culturally by Pepsi? I'm pretty sure she did. It seems to be in my memory. This album sold 185,000 copies in its first week in the UK. Solid copies, by the way. This isn't digital streaming and downloading. And it makes you think, there's always seems to be outliers in music, right? Where a song will come back and people will go, oh, wow, why is that a hit? Why is it such a... And then when an outlier song is a hit, it's not just a hit, it's a phenomenal hit. It's extraordinarily large. You get it with Amy Winehouse, you get it later with Adele. When these voices come through that don't seem to follow a trend, but are not unusual to you, and they just are captivating, and she is captivating. But there's more to the story. why is she singing about Rockferry? You could have picked anywhere. I've been to Rockferry. It's in Birkenhead, Liverpool on the Wirral. People will say what you're talking about, Alan. But anyway, and the reason why I know it so well was one of my best friends in my life ever lives there with his wife and children. Lived there, doesn't live there now. And I went to visit. And so I get off at Rockferry station and walk through. And you hear the stories about where you hear about a place which is tough, rough, but people with a heart of gold. That's Rockferry. And you've got places nearby. But she had gone, I think she lived there with her grandmother or had spent time, a short period with her grandmother, or her family had moved there and her grandmother was still there. And so she's letting you know that where she'll go when she needs to get away to be sad to a place that has memories for her is Rockferry. And the song says, I'd move to Rockferry tomorrow and I'd build my house, baby, with sorrow, and I'd leave my shadow to fall behind. And I wouldn't write to you because I'm not that kind. The midnight trains are boarding, all wrap up eights. It's a really good song. It's really well written and such imagery, you know. But it's just the voice, you know. I'll often, and you'll not hear me say, oh, I don't do modern music, or I'll not do anything in the 2000s because it's all this and that and this. Oh, yeah, probably I'm old. Yeah, and maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm going to be like Bill Burr, turn that music down, like he does the sketch. You know, I'm the old man in the basement banging on the ceiling, turn it down when I'm listening to AC/DC, or I'm listening to Eddie Van Halen or Stevie Ray Vaughan. But this was just, it's a phenomenal album. Phenomenal. Warwick Avenue, Mercy, Stepping Stone, this. It's just a phenomenal album. You should go and find, you can see it on the screen there, Duffy's youtube.com, Duffy Tunes, or go and find her on Spotify, streaming, go and buy the solid copy, because she released the story later in her life, and we'll wrap the song up with that, and we'll talk about what happened to a star that wasn't on the rise, had exploded into the musical universe. Guys in the comments, let me know. I think she's South Wales. I think she's from South Wales. I think so. But put her up there. And, you know, I have some other favourites like Cerys Matthews, Shirley Bassey, got to appear on the channel soon. This. You've got other great Welsh singers and bands. There's some great history comes out of Wales in music, and just some great history in Wales, full stop. It's a beautiful country. But years later, she released the story about, and I'm not going to talk about it here because it's not about that, but she had a month in her life which was just beyond anything you would wish on anybody, let alone this diminutive, beautifully voiced, beautifully talented, beautiful person. I don't know how she is. Beautiful person, yes, physically. I don't know how she is as a person, but I've never read anything to suggest anything other than just this solid person, kind, generous. talented, beautiful voice. But you need to go and look up the story of why she just had to pull away from everything. I hope she comes back, because she'll only be about 40 now, and that's nothing. Duffy, Rockferry, there will be more. You guys need to tell me which one you want me to do next, or is there another song on the other album? Or I know she did some background singing earlier on with another band before she was signed to Soul Records, I think, from 2008, from the album Rockferry, Duffy. Thank you, everybody. Join and subscribe.